Good morning, everyone. Michael Troyer with CNE Advanced Technologies. Wanted to get our presentation kicked off this morning. First of all, this is a live meeting. So what that means is you can hopefully hear me, but I won't be able to hear you. So if you do have questions, on the right-hand side of your screen, you should have a chat box that you can put in a question. And if you do that, that'll be sent to our moderator, Jeremy, this morning, and he will send that off to the presenters. Again, Michael Troyer with CNE. I'm one of the partners in the business, also working in the business development activities. Also with us today, who you'll see later, will be Sam Hoff. Sam is president and owner of Patti Engineering. Patti Engineering is one of our really good integration partners, and he'll be talking to you today about some solutions that they've come up with, again, surrounding the whole COVID question and how you keep your employees safe and how we make sure that we have safe workplaces. With that, just a bit about CNE Sales. We are an industrial automation supplier based out of Dayton, Ohio. We've been in business since 1978. Our home office is Dayton. We also do now have physical real estate in Nashville, Tennessee. The way we're set up is we have all of our reps, which we call technology consultants, out in your local area. We want them close to our customers. So they all work from an office out of their homes. We do have 36 of them covering Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, and Middle Tennessee. Also, we do have 14 technical specialists on staff at CNE. What we really do with our technical specialists is they're there for pre-sale support. So if you're working on a project that will require a motion system or PLC system, safety, vision, we can have them work with you to pick out a bill of materials, go through the whole scope of the project with you, make sure we pick a group of products that are going to be or help you be successful in that application. On the post-sales side, what we really like to do is we'll do a little bit of training with you. We'll also do some one-on-one assistance. What we don't do is we don't want to own your program or your project. That's why we have partners like with Patti Engineering today, that if you get to the point where you would be looking for more of a turnkey solution, we would bring Sam and his team into that and make sure that they provided that solution for you. And I'm sure you'd be happy with the work that they would do for you. So we do also have 24-hour availability. The way we do that is if you called our offices after hours, which is after 5 p.m. for us, you would go to a voicemail. After you leave a voicemail, that would page the person who for that time period is responsible for answering those calls, and whether you needed technical assistance or you needed to find product or whatever that might be, they would get you to the right person. In terms of warranty repair, we do warranty repairs, both our own products and others. So with our own products, typically what we're going to do there is we're going to send that back to the manufacturer that provided that part. On the we do have third-party groups that we work with, a couple of those, that one of the things we've had customers ask us over the years is they struggled with just the logistics of managing the repairs. So what we do, we become that logistics piece for you. We make sure the parts get out to the repair site, and we make sure they get back to you as soon as possible so that you don't lose track of those. The other thing is we do offer product training. So with our technical specialists, we do a lot of seminars, lunch and learns, presentations like we're doing today. One of the things I was just going to show you, if you go to our CNE Advanced Tech site, which is ceadvancedtech.com/events, you'll see our events page. So if you want to go visit that, you can see obviously today the pandemic proof factory is the presentation we're doing today. We then have coming up, we've got a portal programming workshop, which that's an actual 3-day training class, and then you can see the others. So if you want to visit that site, you'll be able to see all of the things we've got coming up in the future. Excuse me. Today, I'm just going to give you a real brief introduction to a few of our manufacturers. At the end of this presentation, if you have questions, I didn't cover it on the title page. I should have. My email address is mtroyer, that's Troyer, at ceadvancedtech.com. And if you want to send me an email, I'll be more happy to provide you either links to these pages or any information that you'd be looking for. You could also certainly reach out to your technology consultant in your local area. The first one I just want to briefly touch on is Banner Engineering. Banner has created with their wireless product some solutions that are centered on the idea of social distancing, also occupancy in smaller spaces. This first video that you're going to see that's going to come up here, this is for their occupancy monitor. They're showing it more in a retail environment. but for your environment, if you have break rooms or other smaller rooms where you know you want to have a maximum capacity of, let's say it's 10 people, this would provide you the ability to count as people go into the room and come out of the room. I'm going to do a little commentary as we play this video. Let me make that full size for you. So again, they're showing a retail environment here. So let's assume this is your break room. You can see two sensors. What they do with the two sensors, you've got leading and trailing. So as the person comes in, first sensor makes, second sensor makes, it starts counting up. Once you get to the max occupancy, you see the red light. And now you know that the next person can't enter until they see a green light. And now the person leaves in the opposite direction. It's innermost sensor first, second sensor, now you see the green light. And you're back into the The second one that I want to show you just briefly is the cleaning, workspace cleaning. So if you're in a situation where you have shared workspaces, you need to make sure that they're cleaned, or you're just requiring your employees to clean these at some time interval. So let's say you want them to clean it every 4 hours. What you can do in this situation is, let me go back up a little bit. I think I skipped right past it. There we go. You can, with a timer, so you have a timer that's functioning. Let me go ahead and just put the video up. That makes it a little bit easier to see that. There we go. I apologize, my internet's gotten a little bit slow here. So as you start the shift, after you've reset the timer starts to count up. And once you get to the time that you've required the cleaning to take place, you'll see a light that comes on. And my apologies, that thing is hanging up on me here for some reason. Yeah, I may have to, oh, there we go.
Banner Engineering offers a simple, effective, and flexible solution for work area cleaning programs. Get started fast using magnetic mounts with the Direct Select. Deploy the K70 LED light. Empower the controller using the included power supply. Then just plug it in, and you're ready to set your cleaning schedule. Operators work as normal and receive an indication when it's time to clean the space. Operators reset timer once cleaning is complete.
All right, so that's the banner. One thing I do want to point out with the banner, they've actually created kits around that. So if you were interested in a solution for that, it's actually a kit of parts that's going to give you everything you need to put that application together. So not a lot of part number searching. You're going to get one kit that has everything. The next one, I'll go back to the slideshow in a second, is Brady labels. So we're a distributor for Brady. You know them most probably for the terminal strip labels. That's what we have typically dealt with them on, but they've created a good number of solutions around the whole COVID situation, whether it's wall signage, floor signage. They've got some hand sanitizer solutions. They also have some solutions around locking out water fountains, obviously barriers that you can create. So again, if you have any more questions about that, please feel free to reach out to us. The next one I'm going to show, and I'm going to just show the first page on this so I don't get too deeply into this, but if you want to go with a deeper dive, again, let us know. The company is Fortress, and Fortress is known, and what they do is interlocks, but they also have a number of RFID solutions. They named these different names that are actually based on some historical characters. I won't, if you want to go back to this site, which you can see is fortsite.webflow.io, you can see more of that information, but they've got tracking, cleaning and sanitizing solutions, social distancing solutions using RFID, where you're going to alert if you get too close to another employee. They've done some temperature tracking solutions where they've got, you walk up to this, you've got an RFID badge, you scan, it takes your temperature, and then that data is recorded and you can access that data. Same thing with PPE. If you have PPE stations that you want to know how much usage you're getting and what employees are actually using the PPE stations, you could do that as well. And again, that's all from Fortress Interlocks. The next I'll show you are actual physical barriers. So Swivel Link, which is a company actually based out of Hicksville, Ohio, which Not that many people probably know where Hicksville is. It's about an hour north of Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is where I'm located today. These are fixed mount kits. So you see these different guards, different sizes of guards, which most of them are providing you a 3x4 shield, the dual shield here with one side that you can slide down. So this would be if you have a situation where you have employees that you just can't physically separate them by more than 6 feet. This would be a way you could do a fixed mount, having these guards in between your employees. So think of it as, again, they're calling it an actual sneeze guard. So I always think of the buffet line when I hear that. The second solution, if you don't want fixed mount, is Wirecrafters, and Wirecrafters offers a mobile solution. So in Wirecrafters, what they've done when this pops up is they've given you a solution that is now on casters. And they have two different options for this, and I'll let that continue to load up. Basically, they've got two options. One's they call heavy duty, one's their standard. The difference between the two is with the standard solution, you have a 3 foot by 4 foot glass shield. As you see here, this is standard duty. So you got 3 foot by 4 foot. It's not glass, it's polycarbonate. In the heavy duty solution, you have a full 6 foot polycarbonate. You can just looking at it, you can tell the frame's a little bit more sturdy with the heavy duty, little lighter frame. Casters are larger here than here. Again, both still do the same thing and provide you that mobile solution that you could move to different areas of your facility. Lastly, I'm going to show you excuse me, I've got one more. I'm going to show you EWAN. So EWAN is a company that, if you're not familiar with, they do remote monitoring and access products. So they have a product that allows you to connect either over an internet connection, or they also have versions that can use a SIM card, so you have a mobile connection. And what it allows you to do, gives you remote access. So you could go and monitor, you could change programs, and you could do that without actually being in the present or at the machine itself. So if you wanted to make it so that you don't have more employees out on the floor, this would be a way you could do remote monitoring, remote programming, remote troubleshooting. And that's from the company EWAN, which is actually now owned by HMS. And now I'll get to my last one. The last one is Teledyne DALSA. We've actually currently have, it's a 3D imager, a thermal scanner that they adapted a piece of software that they already had for their vision systems, which is what Teledyne DALSA, what we typically work with them on. You can see that thermal image of that individual there. They're looking to check their temperature. Obviously, if you're over a certain temperature, then what this current customer that we've got now that's in a beta test is doing is they scan them twice. If they're high both times, then they take them off to the side. They do a handheld scanner to confirm that, yes, they do have a high temperature, and then obviously they're asked to go home as opposed to go to work. And that is the solution from DALSA. Again, we did a beta. It's actually going well. That customer is now at a point where they're going to add more facilities across the country. So we're confident that that's going to be a good solution. If you do have interest, again, you can reach out to us on that one. And with that, again, I do appreciate your time. I'm going to get ready to kick this over to Sam. And as I'm finishing up here, I'm going to stop sharing so that Sam can go ahead and share. If you do have additional questions, again, there's my email address. Again, mtroyer@ceadvancedtech.com. That 260-437-8992 is my mobile number. Feel free to reach out to me there. Again, I am actually based out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and work out of a home office here. Really appreciate your attendance today. If you have any questions, let me know. With that, Sam, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Thank you very much, Michael. One thing, hold on, let me go back here. I think I got to make sure when I share that I share
the audio.
My computer audio also.
Yes.
So I really like your background there, Michael. The Oval Office is pretty cool. I have my real background here. I'm actually at our Indianapolis office today. So Patti Engineering, we're a close partner with C&E. They do a great job, and as Michael says, they'll look at your project on the front end and do any upfront engineering or looking at projects. But where an integrator like Patti Engineering takes over is when you want to do the full turnkey project, and then we can take it over from there because we really emphasize the project management aspect of integration projects. So I'm going to give a little bit of history about Patti Engineering, and then I have 9 points to go over as far as COVID response and how COVID's kind of changed manufacturing and some pretty cool solutions. So anyway, about me, a lot of people ask, who is Patti? Well, there is Patti. You can see I'm a lucky guy, and I definitely outkicked the coverage. But Patti is the CFO of Patti Engineering, so she has all the money and is really the true boss of the company. She just lets me pretend I'm president. Patti Engineering, we have expertise in automation and robotics. RFID, we've done a lot of RFID projects over the years. SCADA, we do all kinds of SCADA systems, including Siemens WinCCOA, Indusoft, Ignition, Wonderware. Pretty much if it's out there, we've done a lot of work with it. We also do a lot of customized database stuff and a lot of moving data around edge computing and industrial networking. We've done a lot of turnkey type systems where we're installing network switches, firewalls. One of the things about industry is there's a lot of holes in and into your facility, and the fortress model for securing your facility doesn't really work too well. You need defense in depth, and a lot of that is good firewalling. So CNC drives.
Hey Sam, just to pause you for a second. We don't have your presentation.
Oh, you're not seeing it? Okay.
Maybe try sharing that again.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you very much. Okay, share. Includes audio screen 1. All right, let's go.
There we go.
All right. Thank you very much. So we'll go back. There's Patti. Digitalization and virtual commissioning. One of the things that's really changed over the last 3 or 4 years is the whole virtual commissioning aspect. It allows us to test our programs a lot sooner. It allows us to reduce the amount of time that we're in the customer's facility, and helps to work out any issues that there may be in the mechanical design a lot earlier. Visual inspection, we've done a lot of inline visual inspection systems. And cloud analytics, we've really been emphasizing on the whole data science of it. There's been information off plant floors forever, but a lot of times the information is really not analyzed. A great quotation. This was from George Westerman, MIT Sloan Initiative. When digital transformation is done right, it's like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. When it's done wrong, all you have is a really fast caterpillar. Topics for today tend to go into 3 different categories. 1, reducing people on the plant floor. 2, ensuring worker safety. And 3, working smarter. I know back when our president, speaking of the Oval Office, was doing his daily briefings back in March and April, Peter Navarro, who's the Secretary of Commerce, one day during his during the daily press briefing said that smart manufacturing was going to be the key to coming back in the post-COVID world. I teared up at that point. So virtual commissioning, reducing people on the floor. I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but through virtual commissioning, we can test out our systems a lot more, take your time on the floor and probably cut it down by 80%. I have a video I can share here that kind of talks a little bit about virtual commissioning, and I'll go ahead and play that. give you a little story around virtual commissioning. We had a client, Fortune 100 client in Texas, and they needed to do an upgrade on a system, and it took them, when they came out for the RFP, and we met with them several times, they could only afford a week of downtime. There were 3 different bidders. The other 2 bidders were saying 3 to 4 weeks of downtime. We told them we could do it within a week. Even though we were the highest by maybe 10% in the overall proposal, they went with us because they could only afford the 1 week downtime. In fact, it took them 90 days to build up enough stock to take this line down for a week. But I'm happy to report that after 1 week, they were up and running more efficiently than they were before the shutdown. And that was all due to virtual commissioning and reducing the risk and 100% troubleshooting the code before we ever hit the floor. Okay, let's see with my slideshow. Okay, the other thing that we're seeing a lot of is in reducing people on the floor is you have a lot of maintenance people that are into kind of a break fix mode, but what can you do with your assets if you can take care of them before they break? And one of the things that this is showing is the fact that if you can see that an asset is failing early enough, you can fix it and very much reduce your cost to repair and your downtime. For instance, a motor, when it really starts to fail, it may start heating up a little bit. That's usually the first sign. Second sign will start to be vibration. Third sign, it may start smelling, and then finally it breaks. Well, if you can get it, at the early, you can fix it, replace it, and before it ever fails, and it just saves you money. So condition monitoring has become very important. I know we're working with a client right now on their actual panels and monitoring all their panels in the plant, because sometimes in the summer stuff will be left open. They've got a very hot plant. Maybe the air conditioning will fail, and that will cause downtime. So little IoT device that we throw on each panel to keep track of the conditions inside the electrical control panel. Remote troubleshooting. We're seeing this more and more, especially with travel restrictions and stuff like that, where you are actually helping with the troubleshoot the systems on the floor. As more and more specialty equipment hits the floor, solutions like this are becoming more and more important. And I'll show you this video from a company called Remote Eye. I've never worked with Remote Eye. I saw this on the internet though, but we've set up some similar type custom stuff with our clients, but they kind of specialize in this. Another system that can ensure worker safety is through RFID RTLS. So you know where certain people and assets are on the floor, so you're not hunting for assets as much. You know who's been interacting with who. There's the Siemens has a really cool RTLS system. You can also use RFID and do gating and all. Similar like the banner thing, you can tell who's been coming in and out of different areas and all, especially if you have like a COVID outbreak and you want to limit it to one area. Contact tracing, you can do contact tracing using the Siemens RTLS system. There's also some other suppliers out there that have looked at, low cost type contact tracing systems. Distance flow studies. One of the things is using Siemens plant simulation. You can actually see the way workers interact and all. There's actually a video with this that Siemens has shown how they can study workflows and see where there are potential conflicts where people are have to get less than 6 feet together. There is no sound with this. You can see the red areas are the areas where there's a conflict. I believe this might have been an actual ventilator assembly line that was set up by General Motors. One of the things are collaboration tools. I know that a lot of the non-essential engineers at Ford are not going back probably until January. So it's the real need to collaborate. I know we're using the Microsoft Teams platform here. There's Google Hangouts and plenty of software around. The one thing to keep in mind when you're looking at collaboration tools for your team is, when people traditionally work in offices, there's a lot of 5 minutes impromptu meetings that happen during the day, and how do you keep that type of collaboration going on? So a lot of times you got to emphasize the chat and a lot of the software and that kind of stuff to really keep the your team collaborating. Need to work smarter. One of the things is, everybody talks about the cloud, everybody talks about the control system, but a lot of times the between the cloud and the control systems is the edge, and a data strategy really needs to be worked out on what you're going to process on the edge, what you're going to process in the cloud, how you're going to manage the edge, what's your life cycle strategy on the edge, how are you going to account for updates and managing those PCs. And a lot of times we can help you coordinate on that and plan for that. But, a lot of times customers will say, okay, I want to do an IIoT strategy and I want to get all the data to the cloud as fast as I can. And that's just not possible. And there needs to be some real planning around that. And then the other thing is the need to work smarter. One of the things with cloud-based systems, a fallacy is that, okay, well, we're going to put SCADA in the sky. And SCADA systems have been able to, serve out web pages and all for a long time. And the difference and what you're really looking for in a cloud-based strategy is to get the data into the cloud and do the analytics on the data in the cloud. That really needs to be a part of your strategy. Now, you'll have data scientists come in, and one of the things is if you get a company that does not have experience in manufacturing, they will not be able to contextualize your data. That's why you really need to work with somebody who can contextualize your data, but also analyze your data. Another quotation I really like: the fourth industrial revolution is still in its nascent state, but with swift pace of change and disruption to business and society, the time to join is now. And there's when you talk about Industry 4.0, I know a lot of people feel like they're in proof of concept hell right now, that there's so much stuff that's happening that never gets out of the proof of concept stage. My suggestion to you is don't worry about that. Keep trying. The big thing that people struggle with is understand when you go into an Industrial 4.0 project of what problem you're trying to solve. Too many times it's like, I just want to get data up and analyze it. Well, what are you trying to solve? By getting the data up to the cloud, what specific problem are you trying to solve? Is it toolware? Is it, to keep downtime from happening and from electrical panels, which happens 2 or 3 times a year, but shuts down your system and causes you, tens of thousands of dollars of lost revenue? What specific problem are you trying to solve? And that's it. If there's any questions, Jeremy, let me know. And we'll go from there.
All right, thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. Any questions that came in, Jeremy? I'm seeing Jeremy saying no questions. Okay. So with that, we do appreciate your attendance today. If you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to myself or your local TC or Sam at Patti Engineering. Sam, I didn't catch, did you throw your contact information up there?
I don't know if I did. It's shuff@pattieng.com, or you can search the internet for Patti Engineering. Will come right at the top.
Very good. And also for the people that are in Indiana, they do have a local sales rep that's based right here in Indiana as well that we've spent some time working with so we can get somebody to you very quickly. Again, appreciate your attendance. Thank you very much for spending time with us. Hopefully you found this useful, and stay safe and keep your employees safe. Thank you.